A funny thing happens when you spend some time with a bunch of HR people. Um, Great. I have such amazing, amazing friends. Um, I was at an event about a week and a half ago or so, and it was it was relatively eye opening. I mean, it and they all pretty much agreed on one thing. A lot of them agreed on one thing. If you talk to any employee of any company and you just ask them, what do you think of HR? One question, what do you think of HR? The average answer, or probably the most likely the biggest answer you're going to get is they're like internal affairs. They work for, senior leadership. They're the rat squad, something like that. Um, which then begs the question is, when did, HR, human resources, when did the human come out of human resources? Little story for you. Okay, first when I first started transitioning, right? Company I was working for, I was I had just started basically more social transitioning. So I was just wearing clothing, letting my hair start to grow out a little bit and just wearing, just more colorful clothing, things like that. That's really social transitioning. It's different types of transition. There's social, there's medical, and each one gets broken down. So this was social transitioning. And that's when I had picked out my name, even though I was still going by my other name, my legal name, Todd. I wanted to be called Tamara. So, and the people around me, my coworkers, people on my team, they were fine with it. But I hadn't legally changed my name because I was just socially transitioning. And I had people calling me Todd, and that was fine. I get it. Now the thing was, I wanted to change my name on my employee ID card. Put my preferred name in. Well, I couldn't. It's like, okay, why not? Well, the HRIS, the HR information system doesn't have a place for it. And I mean, after all, it all blends in, the HRIS is all blended in with payroll and all of this other thing. And that has your legal name, so we can't change your name on your ID card. Okay, well, turned out someone was able to do it. And I thanked them for it. Because that meant a lot to me. And then doing some more research, I found out that there are HR information systems that do allow you to do it, that it doesn't matter. Especially something like an ID card. It doesn't matter what the name is. I mean, you could sit there and think about, oh my God, transgender people and they have to change their names and blah, blah, blah. What about someone who's not transgender? Okay? You ever meet somebody whose name is Robert, but they prefer to be called Bob? Now, their legal name is Robert, but they prefer to be called Bob. In this case, why can't Bob's ID have Bob on it instead of Robert? So, HR has to keep the human in human resources. There are systems out there that do allow a preferred name. After all, it's just an ID card that you just wear when you're walking around the facility. That's it. So you can put a preferred name on it. And meanwhile, in the back end, yes, it still has links up with the legal name. You have your legal, then you have your preferred. What would you like to have on your ID card? Your legal name or your preferred name? I would like to have my preferred name. Okay. The HR system has two places to put it. Let's be human. And yeah, okay. Companies do have, the EEOC guidelines and blah, blah, the anti-discrimination, anti-harassment, all of that. Everyone has to go through that every year, watch those videos and everything like that. But HR, are you really human? Question. Can we get beyond the policies? Can we get beyond the paperwork? Provide a safe space. Look out for your people. Yeah, you could put it in. Put in somebody's preferred name. Yes. Talk with them. Sit down with them. Know that, HR, we're not the rat squad. You have a safe space here because it's employee. It's human resources. Human resources. And we have to stay on top of that. I mean, there's so many studies. I mean, it takes money to change our information systems. Yeah, it does, but how much money does it take to onboard people? Okay, because, even though you have employees, and you know what? Yeah, employees, we're here for the paycheck, but we're basically volunteer because I go someplace else and get another paycheck. I don't have to stay here. So now if you have somebody who a lot of years experience in the company, they know where all the spokes in the wheels are and how they all work together. But because you can't put Bob on an ID card, you have to put Robert. Bob may say, you know what? I'm out of here. So now let's recruit, let's onboard, let's train. And by the time the person gets up to that level that Bob was at, how much money has been spent on that? Be human. Open up safe spaces. And this is not just for transgender people. You could sit there and say, okay, well, this is going into DEI, and we can't touch DEI, because of everything that's going on with the government. DEI, shh. We can't talk about DEI. Oh, come off the crap. Stop it already. Because what kind of leadership are you doing? That's authoritarian leadership that you can't say the DEI. DEI does not mean LGBT. Wake up and understand this. DEI initiatives, yes, they do include LGBT, but they also include military veterans. How many of your employees are military veterans? How many of your employees are of Asian descent? Okay, National Asian Month. How many of your employees are of color? Black History Month. How many of your employees are women? Women's History Month. How many of your employees are Latina? How many of your employees? Come on. That's all DEI. And you know what? If you want to say, well, we have to cut all DEI initiatives because the people up there say so, get rid of your handicap parking spots. You have handicap ramps coming in? Get rid of them. Have no disabled employees because, after all, the ADA was one of the first DEI initiatives. I dare you. I dare you. Be human. Think about what you're actually doing. There are things that are going on. Legislation, comments, that everything that's happening is causing division and hatred, and yet you have to, well, I can't think about that because I have to run my business. Yeah, well, you have people. You have human beings that are your employees. And those human beings that do the day-to-day operations run your business. And without them, without their experience, without their knowledge, if you don't keep them satisfied, they're not going to be engaged. And what happens if you have employees that are not engaged? Well, we'll give them a raise. We'll give them more money. That'll keep them engaged. Really? Great book that should be in every senior leader's library. And not just in the library, but opened up and highlighted, should be Drive by Daniel Pink. Everyone who is a leader or who strives to be a leader needs to read that book, needs to study that book. Okay? Just like there's the saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You wanna fix your bottom line? Come on, C-suite. You want your financials to balance out. You want EBITDA to be at whatever percentage, blah, 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 blah. You want your financial statements to be... Fine, take care of your employees. Make sure human resources is the connecting point between C-suite and the workforce. HR needs to be in there. That's human. Invest in human resources. Invest in HR. HR, be present. Tell your people, yes, this is an open place for you. This is safe. We can talk about anything that you need to talk about. And we will pull in. We have internal resources. Have those internal resources, employee resource groups, whatever you want to call them, affinity groups, employee networks, ERGs, BERGs, MOUSE, whatever you want to call them. It doesn't matter. Have all of these groups. Let them learn from each other. Let them understand each other. That's how people learn. That's how people strive and grow. That's how a sustainable organization works. Not by focusing on a spreadsheet with EBITDA. Focus on your people. HR, have these internal resources. Have lunch and learns, where people get together from the different groups and they talk with each other and understand each other and know and learn from each other, because hatred and division don't live when there's understanding. Hatred and division cannot exist if there's understanding. Help your employees to understand each other and understand and grow and know and learn from each other. Have external sources also. There are many organizations. Friend of mine, Aoife O'Donnell, she runs National EAP here on Long Island. Look them up. Maybe I'll put the link to her thing, to her company, in the description. National EAP. Go, HR. Go to events. Go to conferences. Senior leadership. Oh, well, we can't afford that. We can't afford to send you to a $3,000 conference. Why not? Sorry. You got to prime the pump a little bit every once in a while. Okay, senior leadership, C-suite, listen to me. We don't want you to get your 20% bonus at the end of the year. Take a 15% bonus and send your people off to learn, to grow. Because then otherwise, you're not a company that's on the leading edge or a company that's looking to grow and prosper. No, then your company will live in mediocrity. If that's all that you care about is the bottom line, all that you care about is your financials, your company will live in mediocrity. And I don't care how many initials you have after your name, you take leadership classes too, right next to your HR people. You go to the leadership classes, you go to the events, right next to your HR people. So HR, let's keep the human in human resources. Think beyond the policies. Think beyond the paperwork. Right.